What's up, everybody? I'm Rerouted. Today, my guest he's Grammy nominated, been #1 on Billboard. He's the sound behind a lot of the music that you've probably heard. My boy, Mike Snell.
Wagwan. What's good?
Appreciate you making the time, bro.
Yeah, man.
I pronounced that right?
Yeah, Mike Snell. Yeah.
Cool. So I saw that you're from New York, right?
Yes, sir.
So what was your upbringing like?
I mean, it was cool. Like, I'm from Washington Heights, Manhattan. It's uptown, like right next to Harlem. I'm half Dominican, half black.
Dope.
Which is kind of like representative of that area. We bounced around a lot. I was raised there, but then we had moved to the Bronx, back to Manhattan, and then I actually spent my high school years in Westchester, New York, in this town called Peekskill, New York. My mom and my dad came from like a different type of lifestyle when they grew up, so my mom kind of wanted me not in the streets. So she put me in like art schools and shit, So like I went to the school called Bronx Charter School for the Arts, and like that pretty much shaped my whole life, to be honest with you, because I was taking music, art, dance, fucking computer technology and shit like from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I just gravitated towards music like right away.
Fire.
I was playing the drums early. I was playing the trumpet. I played trumpet like all throughout when I was a kid, all the way throughout high school. And yeah, I just took that with me. And especially when I moved upstate to Westchester to Peekskill, that's when I really tapped in on the music production stuff. I started making beats when I was like 12 years old or so. And yeah, bro, like I feel like all the areas that I lived in like had a huge influence on like, why I'm a producer now,
Fire.
Yeah.
What about music did you gravitate toward opposed to any of the other art forms?
I don't even know, bro. I can't explain it. It's just like, it was natural to me. Like, I had a teacher named Mr. Dunkley, right? And he was a Jamaican, and he used to play this drum called the djembe. It's a West African drum. And he would allow everybody to play like after class and shit.
Mm.
And, I just remember like all the kids just like, just playing whatever. And I'm like, one of the only ones with the rhythm, And he picked up on that. So he would like, during lunch, he'd be like, oh, let's play the drum. Like, he would like nurture that, And I don't know, it just came natural to me. It's just something I always, I was always tapping on some shit because I'm ADHD, so I'm always making a beat on the table or something. Like, I can't really explain it. It just was natural.
Those are the best types of teachers that help mold your actual goals instead of just doing your job.
Exactly.
Those are the ones that actually make a difference in the kids' lives.
100%.
At what point did you stop, playing the drums for fun and decide to kind of try it out for yourself on your own time and make it into your own hobby?
Well, it really all started. I literally remember the exact moment. It was 2007, and it was Christmas time, because my mom and my dad weren't together, so I would spend like a lot of the major holidays with my dad, and it was very different. Like my dad and my stepmom, they had a big family, right? So we'd all like go to my dad's house in Jersey, and I remember hanging out with my older sister and my younger sister and my younger brother, and I was just fucking around her computer because I didn't have a Mac, so I was just like, fucking around. I opened GarageBand and I was like, what the fuck? And I just started making a beat. Literally just started making a beat, and then eventually we ended up making a song, me and my siblings, and then I just became addicted to like making beats on like every time I would go over, I would just like, yo, I need to use your computer. And then once I moved upstate and then I kind of stopped for a while because I would only do it when I'd go see my dad. But then once I moved to Peekskill, that's really when I locked in, because they had a lab, like a music lab with all the keyboards and stuff.
Yeah.
So I signed up for the band, and then started making beats and music there. And then in 10th grade, my school had like an internship program. So I interned at this local studio in Peekskill called Z Studios. And I was like, this shit is a job? Like, I'm doing this shit for fun, you know what I mean? Like, so once I realized you can make money I was set. Like, I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do.
That's where the light bulb went off?
Exactly. I'm like, why would if I'm doing this for fun and I can make money from it, why not?
Why wouldn't I?
Exactly. It just doesn't make any sense not to,
When you went to that studio, was that your first introduction to like FL or Pro Tools or anything like that? Or how did that come?
That was my first time seeing Pro Tools, because up to then I was on GarageBand, bro. Like, and then my mom had a Windows, so I was using FL on her computer kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But even before FL, I was fucking with this program called Cool Edit Pro. I think they got bought out by Adobe. It's like called Adobe Audition, I think, or some shit now. But yeah, when I was in that studio, it was the first time seeing Pro Tools. And like, shout out to the owners of that studio, but like, they sucked at engineering, bro. Like, they were horrible. And I was like a geek with it, so on Cool Edit Pro, you can't do like plugins live. You have to like, any effect, you have to bake it in, right?
Damn.
So
what do you mean by that?
So like, for example, a program now, any Logic, FL, whatever, I can load up a plugin and then I can edit it as I go throughout the session, right?
Sure.
But back then on Cool Edit, if you're putting an effect, it's like, it stays on. Like, you put it and then you render it.
Sure.
And then you can't go back, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So because of that, I learned, like, I was on YouTube learning each step, like, all right, first I gotta EQ it, first I gotta compress it, then I gotta, you know. So I took what I learned on there on that program, and I put it towards Pro Tools. And because they're old school engineers, so those dudes, like, they just recorded with nothing on the channel. It was just like straight.
Different. It was a different sound.
It was just straight raw. And I'm like, why are y'all recording like this? So I started putting my settings, and then that's when I realized, I'm like, bro, like, I gotta do this shit. Like, if I'm better than these motherfuckers that own the studio, and I'm like fucking 14 years old or 15, I gotta do it. Shout out to y'all though, like, I don't need me to disrespect y'all, but they was ass. I'm gonna keep it 100.
How long did it take for you to really master it? That's young too. 14's young.
Yeah. Master it? I mean,
of course you're still learning, but how long did it take for you to really like surpass them, essentially?
bro, I'm not even trying to brag. Like, I immediately surpassed them. Like, I started, like, because, like, we were, like, I would be sitting in sessions with them, like, as an intern, and when they would go to the bathroom, I would go to the computer and, like, fix the shit.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that, first of all. I don't suggest you do that shit. But the clients were really happy, and then they started requesting me.
Dope.
So then I started getting paid sessions while I was in high school with them.
Dope.
But I would say when I really mastered it for real, was like when I would say around 2000, which is not even, when I got to the professional level, I would say it was around 2016. 2016, I went to the Institute of Audio Research in New York, which is audio engineering and music production school. And yeah, we learned, like, I knew the steps of like what I had to do, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew that I had to do it. So learning the fundamentals of it, I think that's really what helped me fully understand what I actually was doing.
Dope.
And then out of there, I finally got to, work at other studios after that and really start my professional career.
Is that where you integrated with other, major artists, or
Nah.
how did that come together?
So after I graduated school, I started working at the studio in the Bronx called BBE Studios. That's when I started, like, commercially, like, working. And the first artist, like, with kind of a name, shout out to Zay, my boy Jet Gang Zay. He was like a bubbling artist in the Bronx. So I started making my name with him. And then I left that studio to work in a studio in Harlem. Then I started working with this dude named Neek Bucks.
I fuck with Neek Bucks.
You know Neek? Yeah,
I have a relationship with him.
Yeah, so
he's cool.
Bro, I did his first, I did 2 of his albums back then, and then my first big artist after him was Dave East.
I fuck with Dave East too.
So it was a song with Neek Bucks and Dave East. That was my first major artist.
Dave East doesn't get his flowers.
He doesn't, bro.
He doesn't get his flowers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a crazy lyricist, bro. It's funny, that session actually was hilarious because Neek had his part done already, right? And then I was looping the beat so Dave could write. And we're sitting there for maybe 30 minutes. And then he's like, damn, bro, how long is this shit? Like, when is this verse, when does the hook come back in?
Damn, this dude's writing for a
bro, he
whole
just
song.
kept writing. He just kept writing. If you listen to the song, it's hilarious because Neek has a 16, then you hear the hook, and then Davies has 32 bars. That's because, I don't know, he just kept writing, I guess.
It doesn't surprise me necessarily.
So that was funny, but yeah, so then so Dave East, and then, I think after that, I had a bunch of songs on Hot 97 just
Fire.
from working in Harlem, really. Because Hot 97 really back, Empire 105, they like, I don't know if they still do, but they used to show a lot of love to like the artists from New York, you know?
I will get into your move to LA and how that transition was, but how would you compare navigating New York compared to LA creatively and making those, you know, those major steps?
Yeah. I mean, times were different and like, but for me, I feel like out here, it's a community. Like people move out here from all over the world to make it.
Facts.
So it's like you're constantly surrounded by like-minded people. In New York, it's like you kind of have to claw for your spot and then you have to maintain it. Like I was an intern for hella long before I could actually sit in the chair, which is, you still gotta do that anywhere really here, but it's like you're locked into that spot and then whoever comes there, you know. But here it's like, I moved out here and I'm working in like 4 or 5 studios at a time.
Facts.
And I'm working with different artists from all over the world. In New York, it was just New York people, like, you know, so that's why I love LA, because it's really like, it's versatile. Like I was only doing hip hop out there, like only like mostly rap.
I was just about to say, was moving out here beneficial for your sound and
100%,
becoming versatile?
because like as soon as I came out here, I was like, I never want to do rap ever again, because like, no disrespect to rappers, but like I don't like rap sessions, bro. It's like motherfuckers just in there smoking 10 backwoods, back to back, 80 people in the room.
It's a different
You know
world.
what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's like, and they just like, I don't know, and it's boring to me. Like
I was just having this conversation with my last interview, and we were saying the same thing. The like sessions with rappers are very predictable, where I feel like with most other genres they can go many different ways.
100%, bro. And it's like, there's a New York style of making music. Like normally they either write it at the crib or they write it at the studio. So like, bro, for like maybe 50% of my sessions, half the time I'm just sitting there like this, and the loop beat is just looping and everyone's smoking and I'm just waiting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here it's like, they're working immediately, like, yo, no, they come to the studio with they don't even know what they're gonna make. We're like freestyling
Just
as we
pull
go.
something up.
Everyone's being creative, everyone's inputting. In New York, I felt like it was mostly just like sitting around and shit, you know? I don't really like doing that.
I know you said working in New York is boring, but some people move to New York for music. So why did you feel like it was necessary to get out of there?
Because like, I felt like, what else is there to do? Like, at the end of the day, I'm a producer, right? Like, I got into engineering because I'm a producer, right? And I just felt like it was very one-dimensional. Like, I was working on the same stuff. I was doing shows. I had like sold out fucking the Knitting Factory, but the showcases I was doing. And I'm just like, bro, like, I see other engineers that's just what they do. They just pull up and that's their life. They're just up till 3 in the morning, going home smelling like backwoods, not sleeping, waking up, doing it. I didn't want to do that forever. No disrespect to y'all, like if that's what y'all want to do, cool, but I'm trying to elevate, you know? And what I do is I study like people I want to be like. So everyone I looked up to, they left where they was from. So I just put that into the universe. And shout out my boy Story. He we went to high school together. He was older than me. He saw me working and was like, bro, I could get you a job in LA, but you gotta live here. Yeah, I could get you a job at Atlantic Records. I said, say less, nigga. I saved money for a week. I saved like $1,000, bro.
1 week.
Literally, I never saved money in my life. It was my first time saving money. Save 1,000 cash and just left, bro.
Damn. Yeah. Talk about those showcases that you did. What was your motive behind that? What was that about?
So, I'm from the city, right? But I really became myself in Westchester, right? So, I had an idea to like bring the two worlds together. So I did a show called 914 versus NYC.
Fire. That's cool.
So I had all my people that I worked with from Westchester and all the people I worked from the city. And it was my first time doing a big showcase. Up to then, I had been doing open mics at my dad used to have a bar in Harlem called Solace Bar and Grill. And every week we'd do an open mic. And them shits was popping, bro. It'd be super packed. We had a lot of people before they blew up. Like Stunna Gambino used to be in there. Like a lot of popping people that you wouldn't even think, like, you know. But I was like, it was getting so packed that you couldn't even move. I'm like, I need to put this in a bigger stage. So I actually want to, I want to get back into that eventually, throwing showcases. I do have my company MFN Lucha, which is whole another thing in itself. But yeah,
I was gonna talk about that. Does your Dominican background or have any influence on that, or where does that come from?
On what, my company?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hell yeah. So my company is MFN Lucha. Me and my brother Luis. We basically combine the worlds of wrestling, art and music together, you know? You get a ring, DJs in the ring, art, Lucha Libre inspired art, and then we have a wrestling match, you know? And 100%, you know, like, it's basically a showcase of culture, you know? I played dembo, we're playing reggaeton, we're playing Mexican music, we're playing hip hop. So my roots have a lot to do with everything that I do.
Fire.
Yeah.
I want to jump around a little bit and talk about when you got to LA. When did things start to kind of click for you, and when did you really start to find a good amount of momentum?
I would say December 2017. So I was so locked in at Atlantic, but I wasn't happy because I was like, from the outside looking in, it's like, yo, this kid's working at Atlantic, bro. Like, my friend's like, he made it, and I'm over here waiting a month to get paid, and I'm getting less than I was getting in New York, and I couldn't even have enough money to go home for Christmas, so I was like hella depressed and shit. So I had got a call from Che Pope at Good Music to go work with Sheck West in December, and after that, that's when shit started to go crazy. I would say like in February, I got another call to work with Teyana. And then once I started working with Teyana, it was a wrap, bro. I was getting flown out to Miami, Atlanta, and then eventually I got flown to Wyoming. Then I started working with Ye and Pusha T, and then I'm on tour with Teyana. Everything just started happening really fast after that.
I think Teyana's a super rare talent as far as, especially for a woman too, being the vocalist that she is. And we just watched her brand new movie, The Rip, and she sounds like an ad, but she's super diversified now.
She's goated, bro. Shout out to Teyana, bro. She's a real Renaissance woman. Like, she produces, she has her own production company, she does art, she does fashion, she dances, she sings. And I honestly think that she could go toe to toe with any singer. Like, her singing is highly underrated, you know? But yeah, shout out to Teyana. Like, she really put me on, for real.
Amazing. What was it like, because I know you're certified with her as well, what was it like getting those first plaques, and talk about that kind of, not the process, but, you know, kind of what it did for you and how it felt?
That shit's still surreal to me, bro, because my first plaque was Gonna Love Me. And that shit's produced by Kanye, who's my idol. Well, it was my idol. I mean, okay, I still fuck with Ye, but I don't believe in idols anymore. That's why I say he was my idol.
Okay.
I don't really look up to, I mean, I admire him, you know what I'm saying?
We'll
he
talk
was my
about Ye in
biggest
a second.
influence, I should say.
Absolutely.
Him, and then Mike Dean, Mix, again, another dude I still look up to, like the GOAT, you know? Teyana's from Harlem, too.
Absolutely, I was going to make that
And then we got another, the remix was with Wu-Tang. So, like, that's crazy. I got a plaque with Wu-Tang. Like,
absolutely.
Shit's insane, bro. Yeah, like, I mean, nothing is luck, but some would say it was luck because what happened was that song was already done and recorded, like, when I started working with her. But then the other engineer's hard drive crashed.
Damn.
And then that's why I got hired, because I had to re-record a bunch of shit that she had already did. And then I ended up getting a plaque for all that shit.
Yeah. I do believe in luck as well, and not to discredit you or anything at all, but of course there is an element of luck to that, because, you know, like, who's to say that person's hard drive didn't last one more session,
bro?
You know?
What's the saying? They say luck is preparation and what did they say?
I know what you mean though, because if you didn't go up to bat, you wouldn't give yourself the chance to get lucky.
Yeah, like you gotta be ready. You know what I'm saying? Because like another dude that would have been, and bro, Teyana's tough to work with. Like, you fuck up one time, she gonna curse you out in front of everybody.
Damn.
Like, you can see
that's how it gotta be though.
Exactly. I mean, no, it doesn't. You don't gotta curse niggas out.
Well,
but I'm glad I did.
You have to hold people to a certain standard. I feel like.
Yeah.
I do agree.
I'm not gonna lie, that shit gave me PTSD, because now I be fucking up in sessions. I'm like, I'm sorry, my bad, and they're like, nah, you're good. Like, mistakes happen. Like,
sure. I do agree. Cursing people out maybe not be the best solution, but yeah, no, that's crazy in itself. And talk about working with Mike Dean, because especially growing up as a producer, he, you know, it doesn't get much more legendary
He's the
than
GOAT,
him.
bro. So Mike Dean, like, I first met him in 2016 at a showcase. Actually, he had a showcase in New York with Rick Ross, where he was like doing live production, and I knew he was there, so I pulled up with a flash drive with 50 beats, and then I met him. I was like, yo, Mike, like, my hands were shaking. I was so nervous. I was like, I got 50 beats for you. He's like, 50 beats? I'm not listening to 50 beats. Like, next time come with 3.
Sure.
I was like, fuck. And then it's funny, like we ended up on stage with him. That's a whole nother story. But fast forward, we're in Wyoming. So we were in Kanye's house and he was in the basement mixing and mastering and producing everything as in real time. So I got to sit behind him and just watch him and like learn from him. Bro, that shit was incredible. And then I started working with 070 Shake out of that. And then next thing you know, bro, we're playing Coachella. I'm next to Mike Dean, DJing, while he's playing the synth, smoking blunts. Shit was crazy, bro. Yeah.
What's one thing that you took away from him when you were observing and everything?
Is that like, he's a master of all crafts, bro. Like, he can record you, he can mix, he can master, he'll play, and he'll produce your shit. That taught me, like, cause growing up, they tell you like, oh, stick to one thing. Like, fuck that, be good at everything.
Sure.
Because then when you get somebody, they don't want to go to nobody else because they'll have to go and hire 5 other people when I could just do everything. So I kind of modeled my career after Mike Dean and Pharrell. It was like my 2 GOATs. You know what I'm saying? So like, I do the same thing. I record, I mix, I master, I write, I produce, I DJ. So I could take it from the inception of the idea to literally performing it on the stage with you. Like,
I love that. That was honestly, that was like the best explanation ever. That was fire. Yeah. Real quick, you mentioned bringing a flash drive with 50 beats to Mike Dean. What would you say is like the optimal way for a producer to get their beats to someone that they want to work with nowadays?
Well, that's one way. Find out where they at and pull up. Don't pull up with 50 beats though. Pick your best 3. That's what he told me, you know? That's one way, but the best way though is to like go through the credits of the songs and find the people that you don't know about. Last time shout out my boy Mez from New Zealand. He found me because he was a fan of Teyana stuff and he went through the credits and found me. And he reached out to me and then we started working together. So that's another way too. Like, for example, I just connected with this dude named Juco. He's a producer out in Miami because I'm a fan of Max B and French Montana. So I was looking at the credits. I'm like, who produced this shit? Reached out to him. You know, that may land to eventually I could work with them, you know, which is not always, it's not like always the goal, like, but you never know what can happen, like by connecting with people that are connected to whoever you want to work with.
Absolutely. Somebody you've mentioned a few times that I wanna kind of talk about from start to finish is Ye. So, I mean, doesn't get really any bigger than that. Talk about how that initially came together and kind of just, you know, start to finish.
So that's all Teyana, bro. Like, I'll never forget it, bro. I was in New York. I had just finished recording her album. And I was on the train and she called and she's like, where you at, nigga? Kanye wants to work. I was like, what? Bro, immediately booked my flight. Next thing you know, I'm in the car, fucking on the way to Calabasas to meet Ye, bro, and I'm fucking shaking and shit, bro. Like, I was so nervous, I took a shit and clogged the toilet in Teyana's house.
In Teyana's house is crazy.
Yeah, and we're on the way there, and I'm on Twitter, and I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, yo, Teyana, look at this. It's Kanye with the Trump hat. I'm like, this nigga, bro. Why it gotta be the day I work with him?
Right.
Literally the day out on the way. So then he ended up canceling that day. So went back the next day, and then he's arguing with T.I. about Donald Trump.
With T.I. Yeah. With T.I. is like the funniest thing ever because, man, if people are like hip to T.I. nowadays, it's just like, that is hilarious.
It is, bro.
That is hilarious.
You can watch it. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. But fucking, so we're there to work on Teyana's album, but these motherfuckers kept arguing, and Kanye's like, you know what? Fuck that, bro. I got a song about Trump. I want you to hop on it and explain your point on the song. So then now T.I. is like freestyling off the top. Like, they'll cut Kanye's part, and then T.I. comes in, and then Ye was listening. He was cooking. He was frying Ye, I'm not gonna lie. So Ye was like, no, delete my part. So then Ye starts freestyling, and they're like battling on the song. I was like, yo, this is crazy. So then we finished the song, and then I've told the story before, but I learned a lot from that day because remember, like, I was big on, yo, I do everything myself, right? But Ye's the complete opposite. He collabs with everybody. It doesn't matter if you don't know nothing about music. So he goes one by one and asks everybody in the room, like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Everybody was like, yeah, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. And it comes up to me and I was like, I feel like the beat could change up a little bit. Like, maybe you take it out on certain parts or maybe you add something. I don't know, the beat wasn't really doing it for me. And then he just kind of looked at me and then went to the next person. So then we're eating like 30 minutes later, and he comes up to me, he's like, hey, like, bro, what was that you said earlier? And then I started explaining it, and then he's like, ain't you an engineer, bro? Like, by the time you finish explaining it, you could have just did it yourself. And I was like,
wow.
In my head, I'm like, I'm not just gonna pull up to Kanye's studio and go to his computer and start editing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
especially with Teyana, because we're not there for him, we're there for her, and she's pissed the whole time because she's like, I'm here to work on my album. Why the fuck we arguing about Trump?
Sure.
So, but I took the opportunity. So I went to the computer, I put my headphones on, I started chopping, and I played it, and then nobody says nothing at all, and then the day keeps going. So I was like, whatever. And then a couple days later, the song is out, and I'm listening to it, and all my shit's still there.
Damn.
And I look at the credits, and my name is there. I was like, this is insane, bro.
Wow.
Like, it's called Ye vs. People, probably one of his least streamed songs of all time, but but still, though, that was my first Ye, placement, which was insane.
It takes someone with some like courage to be able to speak up to someone, especially like Ye. Mm-hmm. And when it's your first time in a room with him and with anyone, would you recommend people to always speak up to someone, or kind of, because obviously no one wants to be a yes man, but do you understand what I'm kind of trying to get at? Like, when is it appropriate to kind of voice those things? And
I mean, I hate when people pull up to sessions and they just be like, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. It's like, like just to say something. But if you have something that you truly believe is like of value that can contribute, wait your opportunity. Like, I didn't just get up and say that while he's recording.
Absolutely.
I waited until he asked me, you know what I'm saying? So like, I think you wait for the opportunity, let people create. You gotta allow space. If you're there, and what's your purpose for being there? Like, I wasn't there to work on the song, so I'm not gonna just be standing up and saying shit. But I got my opportunity. Like, he asked me, like, what do I think? And then that's when I told him. So just wait for your chance. Don't be in, like, I hate when motherfuckers bring their homies to the session and they're just behind me like, hey, bro, like, you should do this, you should do that. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, that's not what you're here for. Like, go sit down.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. Talk about when you got the Ye placement, though, because I would imagine he has thousands of songs that aren't released.
Yeah.
And so talk about when you found out it came out, because obviously that...
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just right place, right time, bro. Like, I happen to come into his life and career at a time where he was just putting shit out, like, you know what I mean? So the first time, bro, I like fucking was crying, dog. I was so happy, I couldn't believe it. I was on the train in New York. It was like a week after we did the whole shit, and I was like, this is crazy. But then the second time, because after that, I got called to go to Wyoming and work on a bunch of albums up there. Mm-hmm. And I had to fight for that shit, bro. Like, I almost got blackballed because it's like, when we first got up there, he had this thing that he started called Yeezy Sound, right? And he wanted everybody to sign this paperwork saying that nobody was gonna get credit. It was just gonna say Yeezy Sound. And I was like, fuck out of here, bro. That's not happening. So I went up to Mike Dean, and Mike Dean was like, hell nah, like, that's just not happening. So he was fighting for it too.
Fire.
So he ended up scrapping that idea and giving people credit. But the shit came out. And while we were up there, we were still working, and because he was dropping an album every week, for like, I think it was 5 weeks. My credit still wasn't there. So like, I remember talking to somebody about it up there. I don't want to say her name, but I was disappointed. I'm like, because Pusha T had came out, and my name wasn't there. And then she was like, honestly, bro, you should just be happy to be here. Like, this is legendary. Like, you could tell these stories. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, what if this shit gets nominated for a Grammy and my name is not there? So what I did was, I used to cause hella trouble in my career back in the day. I went up to everybody that wasn't credited, and I was like, hey, man, like, your name's in here. Your name is in here. So then...
It kind of created the domino effect.
Exactly. So then they all were complaining to the A&R. And he, like, fucking sent me a message. Was like, bro, how dare you fucking do this shit? Like, you don't know how much I got to work out here. Like, you should just be happy to be here. Like, you're embarrassing me. And in my head, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I want my credit. So, like, I got my credit, and it got nominated for a Grammy.
Wow.
So, like... I ended up getting credit on Pusha Shit, which got nominated for Rap Album of the Year. And then my other credit was on Violent Crimes with 070 Shake. And then that one is Diamond, I think, now. And that whole album's gold. So, like, damn, bro, I'm so sorry. Hold on.
No, you good, bro.
Oh, it's Chris. So that whole album you know, that whole shit changed my career. If I would have never fought for that, I wouldn't have got like 90% of the things I get now. Cause even to this day, it's like, I've done a lot of other dope shit since then. But I was young, bro. I was like 22 or 23 or something. Like when people see Ye on my resume, like they want to work with me.
Look at you different off rip.
Exactly. So it's funny because that's like one of the, if not the highest thing I've done in my career, at least as an engineer. So, but that was the beginning. Like that, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have got the other 2 Grammy nominations I got, you know?
100%. Moral of the story, fight for,
Yeah,
you know,
fight for your shit, bro. Like, I always fought, like, that's the New York in me. Like, I don't care what you have to say. I need my fucking credit. Like,
because you might as well fight for it because you're not gonna, if you don't, you're not gonna get the credit anyway. So worst case scenario is like, you know?
I've never been quiet, bro. And I've always, like, gotten some hot water for it, but eventually it works out because at the end of the day, you work hard, that's all we have, bro, as creators.
100%.
Is the credit. That's your resume.
100%.
If my name is not there, then I was never there, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta show pictures like, look, bro, I swear I was there.
And then, yeah.
And now with AI, niggas be like, yeah, all right, that shit AI, bro. Like,
1000%.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta get your credit.
Absolutely. No, 1000%. What is that process like to be Grammy nominated?
Well, it depends. So like, this is a funny topic because like a lot of people think that they're Grammy nominated and they're actually not because like there's certain rules. So like, if it's an album, right? In order to be, if that album gets nominated, you have to have at least worked, I think the number is 65% of the project.
Oh, wow.
So if you produce one song, the album gets nominated, technically you're not Grammy nominated, but you worked on a project that was Grammy nominated.
Interesting.
You know? So
it's political a little bit.
Yeah, it is. But honestly, I don't like, if you worked on a Grammy project, to me, it's a Grammy nomination, you know what I'm saying? But all my shits that I did, like, are official, like, you know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, I was the last Grammy project that I worked on, Malik Youssef, it was actually a spoken word album. And I met him through Kanye. He was one of Kanye's main writers. I learned that the way Kanye used to create back in the day was with the intention of getting the Grammy. Like, before he even makes the album, he's like, yo, we're getting a Grammy for this? This is what we gotta do. You know, right? Whereas I feel like most people create and then they submit it.
Wow.
So with Malik, we knew the cutoff, I think it was like September 1st or something. And we were working all August and we submitted it like, bro, like 2 hours before the cutoff.
Wow.
And then we ended up getting the nomination, yeah.
Damn.
And that was my first nomination as a producer, which was huge for me because I produced on every song on that album.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
30 songs, bro. It's fucking crazy, yeah.
Damn. Do you know, you don't gotta give up any sauce, but do you know how he would how he would work to be Grammy nominated? Like, is there any signs that you know from that?
Well, it's 2 things. It's highly political, to be honest with you. Like, that's what I learned from this last project I did. Because he already knew that there's other people that already have Grammys and are in the Grammy Academy. So he specifically reaches out to those people because he knows that, you know. But also it's the art, you know. It's like, you know, it's just fucking having the highest level of art, bro, you know. But it's very political.
Yeah, but what dictates like a high level of art though? You know?
The people in the Grammys.
Of course.
It's subjective, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because like, I guarantee you that there's somebody that made an album in their bedroom that's better than the album.
Well, that's where I'm coming from.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all subjective. So you just have to know like, who's voting for these shits? What do they like? You know, it's like, that's why a lot of people like discredit the Grammys. They don't care, that shit don't mean nothing. But it does though, you know, it's the highest honor in music. But it's like, if you want it, you gotta play the game, bro. It's like being a politician. It's like, you know, you gotta finesse, bro.
Talk about Pharrell a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I love everything Pharrell does, and I just feel like he's just generational. Like
100%.
He's tapped into so many different fields, I guess you can say. Music, fashion, arts, everything. And everything he does is respected. And talk about your working relationship with him a little bit.
Bro. Like, Pharrell is my favorite producer of all time, you know, or the Neptunes, you know, him and Chad too. But Pharrell, he transcends music, you know, like he's a fashion icon, he's everything. Working with him was dope because like, he reminds me a lot of myself in the way where it's like, his sessions are like therapy sessions, you know? Like we spent like an hour and a half just talking about Teyana's life and like what she's been through, what she's feeling, in order to find out what the Sonics should be, you know? It was dope, man. Like we made like 3 songs. They never came out, unfortunately. But it was very like, you know, eye-opening in the sense of like his collaboration, you know, like Chad was there too. He knows his strength and he focuses on that. And anyone else that can add to it, you know, he'll add. So, you know, very similar to Ye in that way.
You've mentioned Teyana a bunch, and obviously you've had a super long-lasting working relationship with her. Of course, the talent is one of the most significant parts, but how would you go about maintaining a relationship with a major artist for so long?
Yeah. I mean, I was just having this conversation in the studio the other day. Like, you could be the most talented dude, but you gotta be cool. You gotta, you know, you have to understand who you're working with and, in a sense, cater to that, you know, and be respectful. Like, I fucked up a lot of relationships in my career because I was too eager or, like, wasn't being professional a lot, you know? But once you build that bond with somebody, it's like being an engineer or producer is like a barber. Like once you got your barber, like you're not going to nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just be really good at your job and be professional. You know, as simple as it sounds, like that's really what it is, you know? And try to build a connection with them. Like most of the artists I work with now, like Kaash Paige, for example, like
I was just about to.
She's like my sister, you know? Like I talk to her every day, you know? Like check up on them, see how they're doing. Like me and Teyana don't work anymore because I wanted to, you know, I moved to Australia, New Zealand, and I wanted to elevate my career because with her, I was just the engineer, you know, and I'm like, I'm much more than that. I'm a writer, I'm a producer, I'm a DJ, you know. She did allow me to DJ, which I'm so grateful for. And she taught me how to MC and, you know, hold down the crowd. But yeah, man, like every relationship also runs its course. Like you gotta know when to walk away for bigger things.
I was just about to bring up Kaash Paige. What is your working relationship like? And yeah, you guys have. I know you guys have been locked in for a little
that's
minute.
my sister, man. We got fucking like probably over 30 records at this point. I met her actually a year ago in January of last year, and she was in a transitional period. You know, she comes from having these huge hits, and she was on a big label, and you know, she was independent when I met her. Wasn't with the label, and she just needed somebody that can do everything. She needed somebody that can record her, mix, master her songs, DJ. And I just happened to fit in perfectly. And then her music is very personal, you know? So it's like she talks about real shit. And in order to get an artist in a vulnerable space to be able to feel comfortable for that, you have to build a bond with them.
Sure.
So that's like my best friend, you know what I mean? Like,
dope.
I got a couple best friends, but she's definitely like, you know, in that group. I talk to her every day. And I recently, you know, taught her how to like engineer herself. So now I just send her shit, bro. She sends it back. And we toured, bro. We toured China, we toured Brazil. We went to fucking London, Italy.
Sick.
You know what I'm saying? So like, that's my sister. We locked in for life.
What do you look for in an artist you work with nowadays?
I look for someone that's open, you know, because like my biggest thing my whole career was being boxed in. Like I hate that shit, bro. Like I want to be able to fully express myself creatively. So you need to be open. Like I hate artists like, for example, like, fuck it. I was in a session with Kodak Black, right? And like,
Fuck it.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't want to say his name, but I don't give a fuck. And his homies was like getting on the song and like, I'm trying to help them with their bars because they were stuck on a bar for like 30 minutes, bro. And I'm a writer, so I already had like 8 different variations in my head of what he could say. So I was just like, but they're also street, so I had to be like careful.
Sure.
So I was just like, hey, bro, why don't you just say I pulled a gat out the hat like a rabbit or some shit? And then, bro, they paused the music and the security guard was like, hey, man, fuck out of here. We write our own shit around here. Like, and the session got hella awkward and then I left. I was like, man, I just fucking left.
Yeah, like what's the point?
So like, if you're like that, I do not want to work with you. Like you need to be open to like creative input and you know, like sure, Kodak's big, but I'd rather just send you beats. Like if I'm gonna be locked in with you, we gotta be locked in for real. We gotta be like one. Sure. You know? So that's what I look for, just be open and you'll be open to creativity and input.
Of course. Man, you've mentioned, you know, writer, DJ, producer, MC, you know, everything. Where are you at now in your career? What do you got going on the rest of this year?
Yeah.
What are you focused on now?
I'm focused on expanding myself as a businessman and entrepreneur. You know, I've launched MFN Lucha, which I talked about earlier. So me and my brother Luis are building that out. You know, we're planning on touring the US with that. I'm so locked in. Also, like, expanding, like, I feel like I'm solidified as an engineer. Like, nobody can say shit. Like, I'm literally in the top 1% statistically. But as a producer and writer, I'm trying to stamp myself this year as that, you know? So I want to executive produce more albums, and really just make people know me, you know, as a producer first. Because obviously, like, the engineering, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be in these rooms as a producer. I'm always gonna be an engineer, but, like, I'm not an engineer, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I can engineer, one of the best engineers, but I'm a producer. So I wanna get stamped as that. And just continue growing my relationships, you know? Like, I got shit with NLE Choppa that's supposed to be coming out. I did one song with him last year. We got like 5-6 songs. I got more shit with Kaash coming out, you know, and just building my enterprises, you know?
Amazing, bro. Man, you're super accomplished. This is a dope conversation for me. I'm learning a lot as we talk, and man, I'm looking forward to everything that comes out, bro. And congrats on everything that you've already
Congrats
done.
to you too, bro. It's a dope platform, man. Like, you know, we need more of this. Like, we need more people shedding light on the motherfuckers that are making it happen, you know what I'm saying? Because most producers, engineers, they're like behind the scenes. They don't even, I'm
Yeah.
outspoken, so like people know me, but like most people are not.
Sure.
So this is well needed. So shout out to you too.
Nah, love, bro. Nah, I appreciate it, bro. Man, I'm always down to slide, do some content for any session or whatever.
Yeah,
but
plug to the studio, man. Let me plug, we got a new studio in
Nah, hell yeah,
Studio
go for it.
City, you know what I'm saying? Off record music. We got 4 rooms in that bitch. Going crazy every day. Top producers from all over America and beyond are pulling up every day. We got MFN Lucha coming up February, March, May. We got events. Yeah, man. Hit me up on the gram too.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, love, bro. I appreciate you making
Yes,
that
sir,
time.
bro. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
Hell yeah.
Hey, that's Snell.